Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as some of you will know, at the end of December just gone, I decided I was going to only shoot 50mm for a month. Fast forward to now, I'm almost 7 weeks into this, so that's pretty unexpected, and in today's video I thought I'd share some of the things I've noticed throughout that period of time. I should say real quick, just in case there's any new viewers or you're tuning in to a video of mine for the first time, the reason I decided to shoot only 50mm for a month was because in the past and for a long time, 50 had been my favourite focal length. I then became unsure of that, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to use the 50 only for a stint of time and see how I feel at the end of it. And having said that, if you are a new viewer, then hi, my name's Greg, I'm a photographer from the UK, and if you're a returning viewer, a subscriber, then thank you so much for joining me yet again as I talk nonsense and take some photos. The spot I've come back to today, this old petrol station in front of me here, in a shock turn of events, has completely changed since I was here last, which was a year ago. And I came back here to fix a mistake that I made last time I was here. And I'm never now ever going to be able to get the same photo that I did last time, but with the mistake fixed, because it's completely different. All the text and the signage and stuff has come off, whether it's been ripped off or fallen off, who knows. But that's it, it's done. It's done. And I think that's testament to these places that are decaying and derelict and falling down, and probably subject to vandalism as well. Like you can't really mess about and wait years, because they're going to completely change. And in some ways it's good, because you can photograph the decay and the change over the years. So it's still kind of cool. I'm going to get some photos that are completely different and show its decay, I guess. But one more spot after this today that I also don't know what condition it's going to be in when I get there, but I think that one's like quite preserved. I think it might even still be functioning in some way or another. So we'll go check that out after this, and yeah, shame about this, but I still think it's going to make some nice photos. So I'm going to go have a walk around. So I won't leave you till the end of the video to tell you that throughout the last 7 weeks I've decided that 50 is definitely not perfect for me. But is any focal length really perfect in all situations? I'm not 100% sure. But what I have definitely figured out is that 50 and below is definitely my range, because I rarely find myself wanting to get closer than 50. I'm sure there's circumstances, if I went somewhere in the world, if I was photographing polar bears, for example, I'll definitely want more than 50. But the biggest reminder or pro I would say I've had in the last 6 to 7 weeks with shooting with this 50 is not even really the fact that it's 50mm, more the fact that it's a prime lens. And I've realized how much more connected and in the moment I feel with my surroundings and subjects when I'm using a fixed focal length lens. And I don't know whether that's because I'm not zooming in and out and standing in one location and being brought back to the fact that I'm holding a camera, but for whatever reason I just felt way more connected to my subjects. At times I felt like the camera and the lens wasn't really there, and it was me and my surroundings and my subject. And I think it is that standing in one place and zooming in and out and picking which focal length you're going to use on a zoom lens brings you back into that realm of technology, that realm of decision. And I'd prefer to make my decisions based off of movements and really looking at the subject rather than looking at my camera, even though that's really important. It was just something I picked up on that I thought was pretty interesting. So overall, over the last 6 to 7 weeks, the photography experience for me as a whole has just felt way more immersive, and that's definitely something that I want. Off the back of that, and again, this is probably because it's a prime, not because it's 50mm, but post-processing, culling and editing has been way simpler, because obviously, like I say, I've not been stood in one place that I like and took a shot at different focal lengths. I've come back with less photos, still some to delete, but because I'm really moving about and considering where the 50 is going to work in that moment, I'm not stood in one place. What I found is I felt like I made the right decision with the 50 at the time. So I got back and that's the shot that I was going to use. I may have one or two different angles of that shot, but I've chosen what worked at 50 so well that I was kind of happy with the outcome regardless. Now, having said all of that, two very positive points there. One of the reasons I started doubting the 50mm in the first place and embarked on this little challenge was because I felt that 50mm was just way too tight for most of what I'm photographing nowadays, and that was still very much the case over the last 6 to 7 weeks. There was a moment or a couple of moments on every single photo session where I said to myself, I could really do with a bit of a wider lens here. But I guess the great thing was I didn't let that affect the day while I was out in the field taking photos. I said to myself, well, I'll just have to reassess my subject, move further back, get a different angle and make the 50 work. And in almost all cases, I came away with a photo that worked. And I think that can quickly become a pro then, because it widens your eyes and puts way more knowledge in your basket of what does and doesn't work. So onto my absolute favorite by far little thing that I noticed from doing this. It was that all the photos I took, regardless of subject, location, time of day, whatever it was, had a very streamlined and cohesive look. Obviously, all lenses have a different look. So if you're shooting a location, shooting one subject, and you're swapping lenses or swapping focal lengths, the compression, the lens distortion, the color rendering, the chromatic aberration, it's all going to be different. But shooting with the 50 and only the 50 across such a wide range of subjects and places kind of gave me the feeling of shooting 5x4 film, where that's your frame, that's it, that's what you've got to work with, and all the images come out looking the same. But I guess because I haven't used one focal length and one focal length only for an extended period of time for many years, that had kind of got lost on me, and it wasn't until I was looking at photos from weeks ago and photos I took yesterday next to each other that I was like, this is really nice. It's really nice to have them all match up and look similar. So it's absolutely no surprise that the minimal light tiny carry was so enjoyable over the last 6 to 7 weeks. I very firmly got to the point where I could not care less about having multiple lenses in my bag and swapping lenses out when I'm in the field and having that decision. I just don't care. I just want to go take photos, have a nice time, and have less burden on me. And of course that would be the same with any small fast prime lens, not just the 50mm. Some are smaller, some are bigger. Like I say, the more you enjoy using something that you're carrying around, the more you're going to be just having a good time, wanting to get out more, wanting to shoot more. And I have found myself over the last 6 to 7 months wanting to go out more, because I know this is what I'm picking up. So given that I'm into almost the 7th week of using this lens continuously, honestly, I've been enjoying it that much that I don't think I'm going to take it off my camera anytime soon. And if you find that enjoyment in a focal length, if you don't feel an itch to take it off your camera and use something else, then I think that's a great sign. I think you should just run with it and continue having fun with it until it maybe gets a bit stale, or maybe you run into some implications with it. And like I said at the start of this video, this isn't to say that 50mm is perfect for me, but I'm having so much fun with it right now and getting some photos that I'm really happy with, that there's only really a pro there for me of continuing running with it for now. And given that I'm not going to be purchasing any lenses anytime soon then, unless I get 1 million subscribers in the next week. Subscribe. Right, that's going to be it from me in this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, you found this helpful, or you just like listening to me go on a ramble, then check out all the links and stuff in my description. You can support me in various different places there. That would be really helpful. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.